For those of you that don't know about RSP, let me put you on real quick.
$2,000 pot, Trackhawk versus Gap Hawk. Let's go! G82's getting the break from G-Hawk to the 8. Big Hawk! Big Hawk! Big Hawk with space! Let's go! And he still went.
Let's see what this RSP sauce can do. What's up, YouTube? Welcome everybody back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but we just got the Trackhawk back about a week ago, and I put some mods on it. I know everybody wants to see the draggy times and everything like that, but from the week that I've had it back, since I got it back from Livernois Motorsports, I have done some stuff to it, so I'm just gonna go over the mods and the things that are different with it now. So first things first, I took this off. A lot of people don't even know what this is. This is a transmission thermostat that comes on these Hellcat powered vehicles. The Hellcat Challengers and Chargers, Durangos, everything. It comes on these. And these will hold your transmission fluid until your temps reach about 170, 175, even 180. And I'll try to get a picture in here if you can see it. There's the thermostat right there. So just like you have a thermostat on coolant of the engine, it's the same thing in there. And that blocks that fluid, causing to what I think are kind of high trans temps. I know when I was making passes down the drag strip with the Trackhawk, I would see temps of 200 plus, like 210, 212. And then when I would drive it home, it would be really hard to get it to go below that temp once it hit 212. So I made a choice to buy one of these. They were super hard to find. They're easy to find if you have a Hellcat Challenger or Charger. There's a lot of company that makes them, but not a lot of companies make them for the Trackhawk. And it was really hard to find one that said, oh yeah, we think it'll work. That's all I got. Nobody could guarantee me that that product actually worked. That's why I bought two of them. I bought, and I'll show you the company right now. This is the one that's actually on the Trackhawk that Grant from Livernois Motorsports installed. It's got a part number. This is what it looks like. I also bought one from Mishimoto. I think that one works. Also, the only reason I didn't go with the Mishimoto one, it was a little bit taller than this one, and I was worried about this hitting the front drive shaft. Now, if this is something you want to install, Grant did say it's pretty easy. All you need to do is take off the transmission support and make sure you have something there to support the transmission. Now that you took off the brace, take out the front drive shaft, you can access it easy. So something you might want to do. I have noticed that my temps have went down extremely. Even on a hot day like today, 90 degrees plus, making hits. It only got up to 176. I mean, that's after back-to-back hits. You guys know I don't mess around. But just daily cruising the Trackhawk, I get like 140 temps. So I've been normal driving for about 15 minutes. Everything's up to temperature. I'll show you the gauges. That's what everything's looking at right now. Now look at the trans temp. 122, been driving it for about 15 minutes. It wouldn't be like that without the bypass. I haven't seen anything negative. Then again, I just had it back for about a week and we just now pretty much got it finally tuned how we want it, or most of the way we want it for on the street in Mexico. We will do another retune at the drag strip so it's perfect there, but that's one of the mods. The next mod that I did was a cords tank. So this holds an extra gallon of coolant. It was like 500 and some bucks. I'll put it up, how much exactly what it was, I forget. Super easy install, and all you have to do is cut this line right here and then run your lines. This is how I ran my lines behind here. Come up through here and see, this is your feed line that goes into the supercharger. This is your return line. So you cut into the return line, this goes into the top one, and then this one that hooks into the bottom hose that you cut. So you're only cutting one hose. You're not cutting both of them. You're just cutting this top one. So this other piece that you cut, you run it to the bottom there, and that feeds it back in. Now, would I recommend getting that mod? Honestly, no. I haven't seen any difference. I really think it's a benefit to you if you have an inner chiller. If you have an inner chiller from forced induction, then yeah, I would highly suggest it. But if you don't, save your money for something else. And another thing too, they say that the cords tank only works with the leg maker intake. This is a Livernois intake, and I made it work. Yeah, it's kind of tight in there, but it does work. So that's another mod. Another mod that I did, which I don't know if I would do again, is the forced induction spacer plates, the 1-inch spacers. You can see them right there. There is a lot more entailed with doing that install. I actually had to, and I'll include some pictures here, cut off the dowels that are on the supercharger. So if you guys don't know, you have 2 dowels on the supercharger, one here in the front and then one in the back. And the plates did not match up perfect. So I had to, I tried to wrench them out, they wouldn't come out. So I ended up having to use a Dremel, cut them off with a cutting wheel, and then file them smooth, try not to mess up the mating surface, and then put them on. And they also don't, like if you look at your stock Hellcat gaskets, they have these little clips right here. And what these clips do is they push in to the bottom of the supercharger and they hold it up, right? So you don't have to like place it or do anything funny. They just clip into the bottom of the supercharger and they hold themselves there. Well, these didn't come with that. So like I said, I'll include some pictures. I actually had to tape and put these bolts through with tape to hold these on. And then I had to have a buddy help me place it on. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you coming out. I really couldn't have done it without you. I was about to quit, but you made me keep going. So thanks again, Scott, for using your one day off this week and helping me out. So what those are supposed to do, 2 things. They're supposed to move this map sensor, which is actually a heat sensor, a little bit away from the motor and give you a better or more accurate reading. The second thing they're supposed to do, if you look at these stock Hellcat gaskets, there's a design flaw and they can get messed up really bad. That's all rubber. So if you're running high boost, like when I lifted my supercharger off, I noticed that there was oil on one side. So either that gasket went bad or I was running too much boost and it was getting past it. My boy SRT Too Fast, check him out here on YouTube. He's got a really bad Trackhawk. Check him out. I think he has a stock blower record and he just put nitrous on there. So check him out. I'll put his YouTube channel up here. And then another guy that helped me out with the install on this too is One Fast Hawk. My boy Josh Landry. He helped me a lot with the install. I was bothering him all the time with questions and he was getting back to me fast. And you know, this Trackhawk community, we all stick together and that's why I really like it. I like the Hellcat guys too, but there's just something different about the Trackhawk community, in my personal opinion. I installed those, like I said, I don't know if I would buy them again. I can't say for sure that it made a difference, and they're like 500 plus bucks. And you know, the extra tank is like 500 bucks. So that's just stuff I don't know I would do. One more thing about the blower spacers that I didn't think of at the moment. So when you put these spacers on, right? I didn't think about getting a bigger belt. You need a bigger belt. Kurt Chiller, I reached out to him on Facebook and he said I needed a 14 millimeter belt. So the one I was running, this size right here, the K100 586. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's what it was, okay? And what I switched to was this, a K100 594, but I got a green belt. I personally, I don't know. One thing that's important that you want to do when you're getting a belt is you want to look where your tensioner is at. From what I was told is you want it right in the middle. So it's got room to move around and you're not over tightening it. You don't want to blow out the bearings on your supercharger. So that's the one I got. I did get this one, the K100 600 HD, and that one looked like it fit pretty good too, but it brought the tensioner a little bit outside of the balancer in the center. And for those of you wondering, that's with a Livernois Motorsports 265 upper and an ATI 10% lower. Now, another thing that I noticed when I was driving it home from Livernois Motorsports, and these Trackhawks are notorious for this, is their thermostat's going bad. So I have two thermostats. Good or bad, I don't know. So this is 180 degree thermostat. Like I said, I was driving it home from Livernois Motorsports when I picked it up, and my temperatures were getting to like 200 plus. Now, a lot of people might not think that's a big deal, but it is for me. When you're running a 180 degree thermostat, you would suspect your temps would stay around there. So I'm like, you know what, whatever. I'm just gonna replace this thermostat. I got one from Mishimoto. It was a little bit different of a design than this one. It seemed like a lot lighter, but I wanted to make sure that I checked all my boxes and be safe, because my boy Josh Landry reminded me of this too, is that sometimes things can go wrong. And if your thermostat closes, you're on a long trip and you don't notice it right away and those temperatures spike, you could lose a motor. So what I did to the Mishimoto one is I took this rubber piece off and I drilled a bunch of holes through it. I probably drilled 6 holes through it, right? Maybe overboard, I don't know. And then when you do that, make sure there's like no leftovers here and you get it all clean, file it down so you're not losing a bunch of, you don't want a bunch of metal to go into your motor through the coolant system. And this is a 32, 30 seconds. If that's what you want to use, you could probably use a little bigger one. But yeah, those are the mods that I did. So the cords tank, the blower spacers, I don't really consider the thermostat an upgrade. A lot of people, you know that I've been with Livernois Motorsports for a long time. I don't have any bad blood towards them. It was just time for me to go somewhere else, unfortunately. And James hit me up and said, hey, let's turn your Trackhawk up. Let's do something with it. I still love those guys from Livernois Motorsports, Dan and Andy, all the mechanics, Josh, Steve, Grant, everybody that helped me there. I mean, Dom, Brad, everybody, the guys up front. Fletch, I still got a lot of love from them guys. James hit me up. Me and James been getting this thing tuned all week. He's been super patient with me. I've been sending him logs back and forth, getting this thing figured out, and we're about to get into it, see what she can do. Know that I was taking off in second gear, but one of the problems that we ran into was with the temperature and this thing getting heat soaked, that it wasn't making enough power in second gear. It wouldn't take it. I mean, James said he was throwing everything at it, and he's like, it's just too heat soaked without a chiller. He's like, you know, you're gonna have to take off in first gear. So that's what we're trying to perfect right now. First gear, manual mode, leave. That's what we're gonna go with. And I'll show you the temperature right now. 88 degrees. So if you think anybody's running record times in this type of temperature, it's muggy out, it's humid out, it's nasty. But we're still trying to get it done and get it to be the best it can be for the weekend and for the drag strip next week. So we're gonna see what it can do. That was just one of the hurdles that we're trying to work through. Trust me, I want to be leaving in second, but it's just not making enough. It can't make enough power. Like James said, he's throwing everything it has at it, and it's still leaving sloppy and slow in second. So we're gonna see how first gear leaves do. Now that felt spicy. I mean, 90-degree day, nothing like that to get your adrenaline pumping. Let's go. That was a first gear dig with the new revision he sent me. I haven't even looked at the times yet. I'm not really worried about the times, honestly, because nobody's gonna run great numbers in 98, 99-degree weather, especially it being this humid. Like, I'm sweating here. I gotta turn the air on, but maybe we can get a hit of 6130 in Mexico if we can find some space. I would love to roll up on a Mustang or something right now. Even though I'm a Mustang boy at heart, ain't nothing like beating a sports car and SUV, and that's what RSPDMW is known for. Just made that hit in Mexico. Look at that trans temp, 150, not even a minute later. And just when we start to get the party started, it starts to rain on us. I just got off the phone with James. We're talking about over the log. That is just a base file, okay? That is just the first step, right? We're not even done, not even close to refining this thing, but I'm gonna take it to the track on that. I do wanna remind everybody, I'm in my garage right now. I'm gonna show you the temp and the humidity. Look at that. 75% humidity, 86 degrees in the garage. So, with that being said, I wanna let you know that this thing, RSP tune, just ran its fastest 0 to 60 time ever in this weather. The last time I ran a 0 to 60, my previous best was 2.78, and that was like 49, 50 degrees, perfect weather, right? I mean, right at the beginning of the year. I mean, this is the worst time to be racing. I just got off the phone with James. Like I said, we got big plans for this thing. I told him he wants this thing now. There's a few issues that we need to fix, and that's the thing about with James too. James owns one of these, right? James owns and drives a Trackhawk every day. He works with this thing all the time. So the drivability with the tune is awesome, but he also knows the little secret details of the things that go wrong with these. And he's told me some things, and he's told me to keep them a secret. I do like to share stuff with you guys, but when people tell me, hey, you know, don't share this, this is part of the secret recipe, I'm not gonna say anything. But that's a part of being on the RSP team. James is gonna tell you stuff that's gonna help you. I'm experiencing little stupid problems with the Trackhawk, really annoying stuff, and I haven't been able to figure it out for the longest time. And then James was like, hey, I know what that is. I was dealing with the same thing. I bring it up here. He's like, we'll get you taken care of. He's like, the Trackhawk's slow. He's like, it should be way faster. So I'm gonna get the inner chiller put on. I don't know if I told you guys I got that. I got the stage 2 inner chiller from Forced Induction with the upgraded pump. So that's gonna bring it, the IET is way down, and we're gonna be able to send this thing all the time. So we're gonna get that installed and a few other things. I can't wait. We're gonna make this thing fast. We're gonna send it to him about 2 weeks. We're gonna try to hit the drag strip once or twice. Fingers crossed nothing breaks on us. But if you got anything from this video, hit that like button. I shared a lot of stuff with you about the mods I did and things you can learn. So all you got to do is hit the thumbs up. But until next time, everybody take care and stay blessed.